I'm Dr. Rajani. Thanks for joining me today. Can you use your Lash Serum on your brow? Fantastic question. I'm going to give you 4 points today. And if you do, it could age your eye prematurely. So you're going to want to watch this video. I'm going to go through the 4 points. At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you what else I do for brow growth for my patients to help them save time, effort, and money. Click the like button below now, and I'm going to want to hear your comments at the end because we all learn from our own individual practices on these videos. I love it. Number one, okay, the applicator. Your applicator is going to be different from your lash to your brow and serum, and it makes a big difference. The Lash Serum is going to be a fine, thin applicator meant to apply a little bit of fluid along the lash line where the lash hair roots are. The applicator for your brow, as you know, is thicker. It's firmer so that the product isn't wasted but actually gets to the root of the hair. Now, that goes into my number two, where you could age your eye. Pay attention to this one because I told you about the two applicators. A little bit goes along the edge of the eye. Imagine if you're using one of the lash conditioners that ages your eye prematurely. Those are the ones with prostaglandins. Latisse has bimatoprost. Many of you commented when I put the video up on the lash serums that age the eye, that you're using ones and you wondered whether it has prostaglandins in them. Now they're hidden, so you really have to read the deep ingredient list, and what you're looking for is isopropyl cloprostenate. That's one of the most common. Anything that's like a cloprostenate, bimatoprost, a prost, that gives you an idea, but the isopropyl is the most common one we see, and they really hide it in there. But suppose you're using one of those. If you use the Lash Serum and you use it on the brow, you're now putting fluid along the fat pads, and part of the aging of the eye from these types of serums that have that in it is from fat pad atrophy, changing the color of the skin around the eye, and ophthalmos, where the eye gets set back into the head, redness, irritation, and it can even droop the eye. So the prostaglandin ones, if you're using them on the lash with the wrong applicator, it could accentuate that problem because it does seem to be related to dosing, and the wrong applicator could give you the wrong dose. If you look at the Anteage products, they have the growth factors. That's what I use. I don't carry anything in my practice with the prostaglandins because I don't want my patients to have to come get treatments from me because of premature aging of the eye. The Anteage system uses human bone marrow growth factor for the growth, plus other ingredients that are not prostaglandin agonists. So in that case, you can apply them more liberally, but again, the applicators will be different. Number three are the ingredients. So if you look at the lash and the brow, often they're going to have slightly different ingredients. Think about the lash. There's very few hair follicles or individual hairs along the lash compared to the brow. The brow is much thicker in hair. So each one at the lash is very delicate and precious. So you'll find there might be a few more antioxidants. For Anteage's system, there's vitamin E and coenzyme Q10 added to the lash serum that's not used in the brow. That helps with the appearance of the thickness, but also vitamin E makes it a little more shiny. People like a little more shine on the lashes and makes it look like there's more hair follicles than there are. Coenzyme Q10 helps with the energy production by way of the mitochondria, which are the energy production areas of the cells. And these two factors also keep the hair follicles in the right growth phase, because there is a dormant and a growth phase of all hair in the body, and it's different from the lash to the brow to the head to the rest of the body. So it's quite unique. So you might find there are ingredient differences like there is in Anteage. Dissect the ingredients out from the one that you're taking. Number four is just the question be why? Why would you want to take a lash serum and use it on the brow, or vice versa? Typically they're similar in cost, they're similar in amount, and you're just wasting product if you do. and it would last you half as long because now you're using it on the lash and the brow. So for most of my patients and most of our sales, people are buying one lash, one brow. Not as important in the Anteage system because there are no prostaglandins that age the eye. Be very careful. In my second reason I mentioned those prostaglandins, because the dose, if you are getting them around the eye, there's more chance you're going to get that premature aging. The exact opposite of what we want to do. I have had some patients who have been on them. I use platelet-rich fibrin, which is a blood draw, and I put it around the eye very carefully, noting where the vessels are, using a large gauge cannula to help make that existing fat better and to help reverse those aging changes for unfortunate people who are on those products who had that problem. And that's my, that was number 4. Number 5 is my tip to you. What do I do for my patients to reduce the amount of growth factor, lash and brow serums that they need to have their own growth factors from their body work together with these serums? Is do a blood draw and take platelet-rich fibrin for plasma brow, and also for underneath the eye. Since I had a blood draw anyway, we use plasma eyes. That helps with loose skin underneath the eye or a baggy eye. But particularly putting it in the brow with a large gauge cannula, keeping in mind that you have the supraocular and the supratrochlear vessels, which can communicate to the retinal arteries. So you have to be, which is for vision, of course. So you have to be very careful about doing those procedures. See someone well trained. But your own body's all 100% natural growth factors, stem cells, and cytokines work amazing for hair growth. And then for maintenance, of course, you have your Anteage system or whatever lash system you're using for conditioning and helping to grow your lashes and brows. I want to hear in the comments below, what's your favorite one? Did you check your ingredients? Do you mind the prostaglandins? Has it aged your eye? I put a complete playlist up here on a video that talks about lash serums that prematurely age your eye. Stay tuned. Keep your skin and body beautiful, healthy, and vibrant.